back on the Merganser. Here's some. Turn my back on the Merganser. The Merganser. If anyone else was here but me, these ducks would probably not have a lot of time to themselves to sit here and break their journey. But they go up and down this river throughout the day a few times, and what a nice way to spend your day. And I'm so glad they decided to break their journey here, and I felt comfortable enough with the duck mom and her children that I've watched grow up over the last few weeks, and I really enjoyed that. So I gotta keep in mind that that's a good enough reason to come out here if I ever feel people wear me down. That's all, just people. Other than that, nature's great. I love nature. I'm sitting out here on my stomach, got my dick in the dirt. I love nature. You know, pressing my pelvic area right now, my pubis down into the sand. I'm not masturbating, but I'm just feeling like my hips thrusting into the earth and the quiet satisfaction of that. You know, to feel comfortable enough to do that and then to stretch my hips laterally and, roll them around a bit. Things children I do all the time, and I'm very tense down there. I can feel that. So it's like, oh, okay. Maybe you should take a swim in the river. So I'm thinking now, I've been out here long enough. There's no one around. I might get away with a swim in the river with my dick in the dirt. It's very tactile. You come out. It's a nice day, I think, and then I'll just head back to the beach area, and I'll see what's what. Sounds like a plan. So I decided I know what to tell people. If they ask me what I do for a living, I'll just say put up with people, because I think that's what I do. And nature is wonderful. And I'm sure people are wonderful too, but it doesn't feel that way to me most of the time. So I'll spend days, I've spent weeks, I've spent months in nature trying to find a way to feel okay about people again. And the more time I spend away from them, and this doesn't mean anything necessarily, but it means things to me. It implies things to me that I think will mean a good deal over time. The more I get away from people, the more I want to stay away from people. The more the noise of the planes and the cars and just grates on me. The sounds of people's lawnmowers, because, and I'll tell you why, because for whatever reasons I would attribute such evils as I'm walking by here and there, and I think noise has a kind of evil to it. I think there's a mold that fell down from the superstratosphere, and in order to prey upon and escape from the human mind, it has to make people go out of their minds, just a little bit every day, and all this noise and all this busyness with which people try to scramble, though out of a prison, under the power of this mass psychotic mold. Wouldn't that be a fascinating theory to consider, eh? While you're stoned on acid? 333, the number of the sun. I noticed that the triangle system that came to me, I'm trying not to say made up on myself, but it came to me at night, the night I first confronted a cougar. This triangle system connected to some ceremony I was doing with the deer, and people of the deer, you might say. And these triangles give 12 points altogether, so that makes 4 triangles, one up, one down, and a couple horns, and it makes 12, which I've reached out and grabbed, means feminine energy. The number 12 is feminine energy, and the number 13 is masculine energy. So you get the 12, which makes 3, which is the sun, and then you get 3 in the 13, which is the sun, and you get the 1 beside the sun. The one moving into the sun, the one that is critical to the fertility of the sun, such as man, the one who is critical to the fertility of the sun. And this is what I comprehend in the number 13. You set the table, Ladies, you get everything ready, right? Your pussy's all wet. Where's the dick? Right? So 13 and 12 is feminine. And 1 and 2 makes 3 because 1 and 2 could be 3 different points of a triangle around the sun. And I saw 3333, 4 threes around the sun a year ago during my winter pilgrimage. And now I'm seeing triangles of 12 points merged together. And the number 12 and 13 is prominent in these sorts of mental considerations for me. So I've got symbols, numbers. This is looking good so far. And I've got a ceremony that connects it all as well. A very memorable ceremony when I first encountered a cougar in the dark while almost knee deep in water with nothing but stones like these to walk on during the high tide. The cougar coming out of the darkness, only feet in front of me and hissing at me. What I'm hoping was a young one. Not the first time I've encountered. If it's true, then it's not the first time I've encountered it. I thought it was a cat. I thought that is one fucking persistent cat. Well, that's what a cougar is. I was laying in the grass in this one place I like to sunbathe while the sun had gone down, and there's this fucking animal hissing at me like no fucking business. I ended up throwing stones at it. It's like, okay, you fucking scared me. No fucking house cat has ever fucking scared me. You fucking scared me. And I'm just standing my territory. Right? It's like, whatever animal this is, it's going to need to know that we're going to share the space. And it's so fascinating that it's gotten bigger, by my estimation, and we had another encounter at night. So I'm going to have to add that to the story of that area. In other words, the story you tell is the story that keeps you alive, right? So the story there has to include a young cougar that knows my smell very well. Now, either we're going to be able to make friends as it gets older, or something's going to happen and it's going to come down to one of us. And I'm not sure I like my chances in that scenario because this is a master predator after all. So I've actually found that I've cultivated a very good relationship with the local wildlife. I even had a cat today, a local house cat, follow me peacefully out of his territory. We had a wonderful relationship. Peacefully escorted me off of his territory. It was awesome. It was fucking awesome. And we all benefited from the experience. I wish people could interact that way. Imagine if like anyone, even if they were just escorting you out of the bar after you punch someone, would make you feel like you were somebody. You know, imagine if we trained people to do that. Imagine if some homeless guy, you know, who steals like some steak out of a supermarket is found, you know, and marched out of the store in such a way that he feels like $1,000,000. But he'll remember that when he comes back, the cat will be there. So command yourself. You know, decide what you want to get out of life. I've gone off track, but I've always had a very respectful attitude to what I consider, you know, top tier predators that I share the land with. In fact, upon whose land I basically could be said to be trespassing here, there, and yonder. And the fact is that I don't actually go all that far afield. I do respect their territory, and I don't get into it very often. Um, Certainly not where there, you know, even if there are trails there. And this particular territory is, well, very close to my home. So the fact is, I'm just going to want to wander out there from time to time. I may think again about getting caught there at night. I think there's a reason why I haven't gone back there in a few days. And I think maybe today's the day to go venture forth. So I'll decide whether or not to take a dip, and that's what I'll be doing. And then maybe I'll talk more about this symbolism, because I really like this triangle system. I think it might. I also think it's actually a version of the pentagram, which is a version of the dog star, which symbolizes feminine energy or celestial feminine energy. I just saw a vision of the eagle. So I do feel like the eagle and the pentagram and the symbol I'm working on are very connected. Uh, the eagle maybe just be an animal that some people attune to because it relates to the sun, and all animals relate to the sun. So whatever animal you attune to could probably help you attune to what I'm attuning to. So I don't wish to exert any sort of proprietary or malicious condescension in that regard. People start talking about symbols and animals and start feeling left out because maybe Maybe you don't like eagles. Maybe they ate your poodle one day. So pick another animal and let's go down the garden path. And not to get her, but, to be with her.